Suleiman right here, National Covenant, break our 7 seals. Pressure. Judge. Welcome, brothers and sisters. A very, very short presentation here. Feel it's safe to talk about this. I've talked about it before. I want to elaborate a little bit today. But first, before I do this, I'm going to talk about the art of war. Give you a couple examples. Before I do, I'm going to speak about something. You know, you watch these crazy movies and you get this, you get this bad information they give you. Now, I'm above that, and I've been able to, filter it out and everything, right? But I got my mind, but I got the angel mind. Before I hear the angel mind, and most of us out there, almost all, right, we're bombarded with that information. And if you look at it, you watch these movies, right? Like, you go back when I was a child, right? Yes, sir. No, ma'am. That's what we talk about parents now. Yeah, no. You disrespect them. And they teach you to hate. Oprah became a billionaire by putting down black men. You better go out. I watched one of the shows one time. That's what she actually made the money. They loved it. And they put down black men. They got sons hating their fathers and all that kind of stuff. If anybody's going to hate their father, it'd be me. Because my father put me through, I can't tell you the stuff I went through with my father. I'm not going to say I love my father. I'm very suspicious of the word love. I'm very suspicious of it. Right? People just throw it out there. So I don't use it. My wife never used that word with me. But I know she respects me. I know she cares for me deeply. And I care for her deeply. But we don't use that word. I think I might see the word once. Right? And because I'm suspicious of that word. But, initially it wasn't like that. We had a lot of difficulty with her initially, right? Until she learned to understand me, see where I was coming from. Because I don't blame these sisters. We stood by while they were being raped and beat and tortured, and their children being ordered and fed the grave caves. Children, women have a greater affinity with children than men do. You had to carry them inside you for 9 months. See? And they take the child or separate themselves, sell to somebody, whatever, and then even after that's over, look how we act. We don't respect them. We don't care for them. We beat them up, right? So we've got to make a few bucks, right? Remember Simpson? You go marry a devil. Go get a devil. What's the other guy that not died there? Plane crash not too a couple years ago. Some Mexican somewhere, right? And all these clowns. See? So they give you go. That's what they do. And so, sister, and they respect, and then they will say anything when these false Israel, these devils go out there, Hollywood and everything, and expose our women and destroy the image. We shouldn't allow that. You say, well, what right have you got to portray our women? What right have you got to do that? First of all, what right we had to submit to them, but their control's over. What right you even to put us on trial, to do anything to us? You have no right anymore. See? And what right you have to try our women like they ain't your women? If we was doing that, they would object. And we don't say anything. See? So obviously they're suspicious of us. Why should they respect us? Tell me, why should a black woman respect us? You can't give me a reason. We got to hit the devil's ass. We speak the devil's language. We still walk around with devil's name. Meaning that you still the devil's biatch. If you still walk around his name, why would you still be walking around his name? Why would you still be doing that after you know how he gave it to you? Well, why should they? I understand that. They're still up there, just like I said before, I had all kinds of trouble with females. And if I go from an emotional level, I'd be Jack the Ripper. I'd be out here a serial murderer. Because all the crap I've been through, but I understand it. You understand? Now, when it comes to demons and stuff, I was married to a demon, right? And I was also married to Arab once. So that's a whole different issue there. But the point is, understand that. And like fathers, if anybody's going to hate their father, it'd be me. But I don't think anybody could put through more with their father than I did. I respect my father. Like I wish he was around now. There's no way in the world I would respect him. I didn't respect him when he was alive. And like what I was going through. But he made a man out of me because what he did, I appreciate it now because once he 14, I was on my own. He died when I was 14, I was on my own. I didn't know a goddamn thing about anything. When I say I didn't know anything, literally, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about puberty. I didn't know about anything. My mother had already died 5 years earlier. And nobody told me anything. Man, I was kept in shock after shock after shock. My body changed stuff. Hey, I had no idea what was going on. I had to figure all this out by myself. But I wasn't. But he made me hard. He made me strong. I was fearless. Still I'm fearless. People didn't understand how, even when I was in the military. I was telling my wife today, that when I was in the military, right, I used to get fights all the time. I used to fight devils all the time. And I knew they never court-martialed me anything for it. But they were surprised. They didn't understand. I was like 17 years old, right? Man, they were scared of devils. Devils talk about them all kinds of crap. They wouldn't do anything. And I'd go up, I get up and they get in my face, and they never did anything. They'd call me down to the office. Hey, and I put them in the hospital, and they never did anything to me because they were surprised. They never saw a black person stand for themselves. Especially I was like 17 years old, and I was really small back then. I was really small, and I didn't take no shit from anybody, and they respected that. Stop sergeant secretary, they never did anything to me. Well, everybody got the word, nobody messed with me no more. So, but if I could respect my father after all that, because understand, what would a father been like in a Holocaust? You got to understand the timing, the position. What would a father been like in a Holocaust? I mean, if you're going to hate him, you hate him for why he bring you to existence to deal with this crap. How would he be? What kind of father would he be? He wouldn't be able to love it. That Cosby shit. See? How was fathers back in the 40s? And you know about it. It was catching hell. There was no corporate executive. Bullshit. They're lucky they got a job, construction work. And I mean, that's how my father died. He was doing construction with that jackhammer stuff and it broke his back. And they kept telling me he had a kidney problem. This Jew problem. This Jewish guy. Doctor, they was in the neighborhood. They just lied to it. Told me that he had to take his own kidney dome pills or whatever. Right? And it wasn't that. So you were like 4 years in pain because the doctor was misdiagnosing him until he couldn't hardly work anymore, and the job told me he had to go to get employee compensation or whatever. He had to go get a second opinion. So he went to another doctor, and the doctor said, no, you got a discolorated disc in your spine. But he was so weak. My father was strong. If you saw a picture of him, he was a short man, but a strong man. And he died at 40 years old because he was so weak by the time he took an operation, he didn't survive it. So now me and my little sister, we're on our own. Nobody gave a damn about us. Nobody. Like he did some horrible things. Okay? He didn't maim me or nothing like that, but he did some horrible things I think you would consider horrible things. He hung me one time. He actually hung me one time. Okay? I'm not down for it because I understand what was it like back then. You weren't a happy fellow. You would come home, you tired as hell. Even if you didn't have a back problem, you came home tired as hell. You know, construction work every day. They worked the hell out of you. They hardly pay anything. So you want to be doing that crazy stuff, see? Because they fill your head with this stuff. So you start hating yourself, hate your own people, hate your condition. That's what I kept telling you. No, don't think of it like that. See? They put you under that pressure, but they turn you into a diamond as a result of it. You put these things in the right mathematical perspective and say, oh, okay. Okay, I was in the furnace, but now I'm pure. I burned all the defects. Thank you, furnace. Now I'm going to turn your ass off. You did your job. I'm going to turn your ass off. Move on, brothers and sisters. See, like I said, I'm all for the sisters. If anybody can be all for the sisters, right? If anybody be out here want to be mass murdered for, it'd be me. You don't have an idea what kind of crap I've been through with some of these sisters. You wouldn't believe that tech, I would tell you. But I understand the situation. Why wouldn't they? Well, like I said, it took me a while for my wife to come around and say, okay, this guy's okay. Because all the people she knew before met me, what she saw was out there, and what she saw on TV, and all the other people, and here I come along. Well, how's that ain't different than anybody else? In fact, she was more suspicious of me because I didn't do those stuff. So she think I was doing something in the background or something. It took a while. It took a while and some very difficult times before she finally, this guy's okay. And then when I told her, not long I said, you finally figured out that you cared, that you liked me. It was kind of funny. But I said, you finally figured, because she was being extra nice. I said, well, what's all this, right? I said, you finally figured out that you like me. She laughed, right? You got to understand the situation, brothers and sisters. This is a critical time. It's a hard time. We can't sit around and act like we're going to hereafter. And, you should have been like Bill Cosby. I mean, you were like Bill Cosby. You see? When you look at back, he was a jerk anyway. Let's move on to what I want to really talk about, brothers and sisters, here. Art of war. I gave you something earlier today, right? So I want to finish up nice. It's going to be very short, right? Talk about this before. I'm going to go a little more detail today. You understand? Because I think I talk about this now because they're so close. And see here, look at this. Now look at this like you got two forces, pressure fields, right? Right up against each other, right? They're both equal pressure. So if you got two equal pressure, right? Then one can overcome the other because the pressure is equal. It takes greater pressure to overcome lesser pressure. You see what I'm saying? So if you got both of these had the same, we'll say power time discipline, go that route. They got both the same power. Okay? The same power. Therefore, what if they went to war with each other? So each one had a million men. Well, one lost 10,000 men, I'll lose 10,000 men too, because they're equal. No one will overcome the other. Whatever one lost on one side, they'll lose outside. So it's still be a stalemate at the end. You understand, brothers and sisters? Still be a stalemate because you understand power and pressure. That's the way it works. If the pressure is equal, one can not overcome the other. But what happens if something like this happens? This one loses discipline, right? So his pressure goes down to 100, or either this one gets greater discipline, his pressure goes to 150. So now it can go to war with this and say it may have 10,000 men. Just have 10,000 men, so he may lose. They say 10,000, right? I use that as my way. So he lose 5,000 men. He only lose 2,000 men, and then he controls that much of territory. He don't have enough to totally defeat him, but he has enough to take that much territory and get that much control. He has more control over it. He had no control over it. Now he has some control over it. You understand the idea, brothers and sisters? Okay. So if you're a general, right, and if you can measure these things, then you want to wait until you know that the other opponent's pressure is lower than yours, then you know how aggressive you can be. And the other thing is that, say that pressure drops. How long does it take before there's a change. Immediately. Pressure doesn't wait. You know, it happens immediately. If the pressure low, you start putting air in the tire, start spraying immediately. Don't wait 5 minutes. You put more pressure, it reacts immediately. So that pressure goes down. It's going to immediately fill in the gap. Immediately. Because the pressure goes down or builds up. You understand? So let's go to the next one. Well, don't build up. But let's say, for instance, boom. It takes the whole thing, because now the other one dropped. This one dropped dramatically, so it overcomes it. See? So you might want to say, hey, I'm not going to go to war. I'm waiting till the pressure drops. When the pressure drops, I'll go to war, because I know I'm going to win, so I'm going to have total victory. You understand the principle here, brothers and sisters? I'm going to get total victory. And one reason I'm saying this is because I was explaining the scripture was saying that they will come out mischief. There'll be nations making mischief against America, Britain, and false Israel. See, I can't go into any more than that, brothers and sisters, because then they wouldn't. They figured out the mischief, and it wouldn't be mischief anymore. Let's go on. Let me go on to the next one here. And say this situation, and this situation here. Right? Well, say for instance, it expands, right? The pressure drops. See? If you got a balloon that's got so much air in it, right? You don't put any more air in it, but you make the balloon bigger, then the pressure going to drop because, right, you got bigger volume but less in it. Hope you understand that point. So if this expands, right, then the pressure drops. Because it expanded. So the gas is not compressed. So what does this mean? This means that, say for instance, you was able to trick this guy into diverting both of you two against each other. But now you get them distracted, have them apply their force against something else. So now they got two front wars, so to speak. That means the pressure going to drop because they can't focus totally on you anymore. They focus on two things. The pressure drops. The pressure drops. And what? And you attack. You see? I'm not going to go into any details, brothers. I'm just trying to get you to understand something. I'm going to make a point in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because you get them this over to energy. Remember, they only got so much energy. But if they start doing multitasking, them they have less energy to focus on. They have to take energy away from them. They sit out as focused as they were. If you focus all your energy on one thing, that's powerful. But if you stretch it out, and the pressure drops, the force power drops because you focus on a lot of different things. So if you can get that distracted and focus on other things, right? Now that means pressure drops now, right? They can't focus on you as well because they can focus on other things that you can go in, attack them. And like this here, see, it expanded that much. Yeah. In this case, it's like this. So he can go in, expand, it's down, now his pressure drop. Now that's what you want to attack. I don't think I did. Did I finish this? Yeah, I didn't. Okay, that's all right. The point I'm trying to make is I'm going to close in a minute, bro. The point I'm making here is this. Power. And remember I said, thought is power. Force pressure, thought times discipline is power. So that's where your power ultimately comes from, here. Your brain just want to feel the pain. Your arm's so lazy, don't feel pain. You might go, but it's your brain that feels it. Right? That's no story together, bro. It's just what I'm trying to say here is that thought is pressure, is power, and time discipline. Pressure, time, discipline is power. Right? That's thought. So if that pressure is thought, that means you're thinking and you're thinking. If your thinking becomes more powerful than theirs, right? Then you overcome it immediately, because if greater pressure overcomes less pressure immediately. So, you say, for instance, you use Master Prophet Muhammad, you said, okay, and you can measure these things, okay, I want to take out false Israel. This is how much pressure they have. And I can wait until this, because I know I'm going to make sure our angels have maximum discipline. Watch the discipline decline, or we should, convince them, whatever, discipline decline, or they get distracted and after something else. Because you want their pressure to drop down to the point where you defeat them totally. You see, we know in the case of false Israel, they don't defeat them totally at first. Put them on the cease, they break them. They break their power. So at what point does that pressure drop? I do something to make them immediately do something that causes their pressure to drop. And then bam, that gives me the power to break their power. My pressure overcome theirs enough to break their power. Okay? Because they break their power, they don't destroy their power at first. They put it on the siege. They still have some power because they're still under siege. It's just they don't have any power to fight back. They got enough power to be under siege. If you're under siege, that means you still got some power left. Right? You got the power to hold back the resistance. You can't fight anymore. All you can do is hold back the pressure you're under. I'm going to leave it. I'll be honest. I talked about this in the past. I'm talking about a little more right now. I need to get you to understand what's going on here, brothers and sisters. That's the art of war. You understand war. That's what war is. War is only time one defeats another. That's why they couldn't defeat in Vietnam, because the pressure in the Vietnamese pressure stayed high enough. America could stay equal to the pressure America was applying. Same Afghanistan is stay equal to the pressure America was applying, so they could overcome it. See? Like death. Death only comes when the pressure that you're exposed to is greater than your thought pressure. And so it crushes you out of existence. That's what death really is mathematically. I hope you understand this point, brothers and sisters. That's the art of war. Because it's no other way. That's just the way it works. If the pressure is equal, neither one can overcome it. They can fight, but neither one can overcome the other. They just lose a lot of men, maybe women, but one can't overcome the other. But the pressure is greater than the other. Greater pressure overcomes lesser pressure. And so the art of war is to try to get the other group to lower its pressure. It's all about thought. So you see what's America thinking about right now? I'll give you a little hint. They want to fight everybody, don't they? They can't fight. But we're going to take on everybody. Well, we fight in China. We're going to fight Russia. We're in Africa, right? We take on Syria. Is that pressure drop? They're talking about these wars. They ain't really got into them yet. But they do. All of a sudden, their pressure drops. Like blood pressure drops immediately. And the man's pressure remains the same. It gets better because more discipline. It immediately crushes them. You understand, brothers and sisters? Because you go to war before that, okay, there's a war. But they lose. Iran and Syria lose a lot. Well, you don't say Syria no more, but Syria's still there. They're coming back. You read the fifth seal. But you had Iran, Syria, and Maghreb, and there'd be a big conflict, and both lose a lot of men. The pressure equal. They may both lose a million men, like in Afghanistan, but neither one to prevail. Neither one to prevail. But it said mischief they'd be a victim of mischief because somebody set them up And the result is that pressure drops. And the pressure drops, it drops enough. But pressure of Michael's angels to overcome them, put them under siege. Throw God and make out of the Middle East. It'll destroy them, it throws them out. Because the pressure also, it can move you out the way or it can crush you. In this case, it moves them out the way, but it crushes false Israel. Because they're in the middle, got them, put them on siege, and push those out the way. So for something will happen that causes that pressure to drop immediately, suddenly. See, and what happens, that's why I say it's going to happen all of a sudden. So you can expect something, I'm telling you right now, you expect something very soon, that's what they're going to do, it's going to cause that pressure to drop immediately. And when it does, boom. I say they come as a whirlwind. Wind is a pressure. It's a whirlwind. It only works if that pressure has to be lower. They have to do something. Because the Bible said their foot will slip. It said, wait for your foot to slip. They'll do something. I'm not going to get into details here. Do something, and part of it, and when the pressure drops, immediately, it happens suddenly. Because pressure doesn't relax. It doesn't, low pressure, high pressure immediately fills the vacuum of low pressure immediately. Instantaneously. But right now, the reason why they have with it, because the pressure on both sides are equal. Equal right now. So an event has to happen. You first hear it from me because nobody ever told you this before. It has to happen. So I'm telling you before it happens. You're a serious part of it. Or something happens suddenly, because it ties you into that. There has to be a follow-up to that somehow. No, let me shut up. The thing is, something has to happen very soon. Cause their pressure to drop. When it drops, pressures them. Pushes them. God make out the way. That's why it says it. Push them out the way. Precious false Israel. Hope you understand, bro. I'll leave it there. I'm going to tell you, because we're there now, and I'm not Farrakhan. Oh, watch the weather. Turn your front. So watch something dramatic going to happen very soon. When it happens, immediately, right? We already seen part of it in Syria. That was sudden. I already told you should expect that, because I told you before. I told you about 5. Right? I told you about SEAL 5. Right? To see, well, I don't want, Syria is falling. Right? And they've been bombing it. Right? But it's still there. And everybody's making moves. They are not making moves. Well, also say, I'm going to take this. Somebody said, I'm going to do that. And Turkey said, I'm going to do. They come up with it. Why they do it? They ain't done it yet. That's what they're going to do in Syria. Syria's falling, but nobody's. See, it's like suspense. Everybody's telling me what they're going to do. And for us, somebody's going to take territory. Well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is going to happen very soon, brothers and sisters. So keep your eye on that. Those you paying attention, keep your eye on that. See? But the point is, when it happens, it's going to happen so fast anyway. But at least the point is here is that I told you before it happens. So we know, based on Fifth Seal, it's tied in Syria somehow. You see, by them moving into Syria, right, that means they're taking more territory. They think they're victorious. Doesn't that mean the volume gets bigger? The bottle or the container gets bigger, but the stuff in it doesn't increase. That means the pressure drops. So if they expand, By expanding, they drop their pressure. I'm going to leave it there, brothers. I probably said too much. Hold on. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. It's going to be a very short presentation. That's it. Yeah. Oh. I want to mention this. So, I mentioned some earlier and I forgot. And let me see. What was it? Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. Oh, yeah. If you understand Daniel, Belshazzar is Esau. Actually, Obama, but Belshazzar, not Belshazzar, Belshazzar. Belshazzar was Daniel's name, the tekel thing. But Belshazzar took Shabazz and brought them into, remember, we was taken out of Arabia into, what Arabia, Arabia is really Northern Africa, but you understand Africa as you know it. Daniel tells you that. Yeah, I'm going to get to more, I'm not going to elaborate that, but that's what I'm going to talk about. Right? Because it tells you right there. Because remember, Belshazzar, right? He was succeeded after Nebuchadnezzar. That's another story together. But Daniel and his people was in prison by Belshazzar. But we know Belshazzar represents Esau, right? Or what you know as Africa. And so we was living under his dominion. You understand? We was living under their dominion. So I'm just going to point that. I'm not talking more about the story all the time. That's what that means. So I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to close out. So I'm going to keep it short. So that's something I was going to talk about, but I meant to talk about earlier that I forgot. And I'm not going to talk about it now, as I said, I'll keep this short. We're going to stand, brothers and sisters. Okay? So understand that. Now, if you understand volume, let me make sure you understand this. You got so much pressure in the container, and you make that container bigger, pressure drops because it's going to get weak because it's going to spread out in the container. You understand? And if you make the container smaller, and you take a balloon, you start pushing smaller, then always you feel the pressure. Why? Because you make less space because you still got much air, but you put in less space, so the pressure gets greater. If you expand, then the pressure drops. Anything. So you get them to expand themselves, pressure drops. You understand? Translate the pressure into thought. Okay. Okay. And in this case, right, it's thought. So remember, all other stuff, thought is what controls the weapons and everything else. You understand? Hope you understand. I'm leaving it there.